Coming up on this program, pictures. We'll look at image synthesis, creating realistic pictures electronically by describing the scene to the machine. Also, a company that wants to put simplified video information at everybody's fingertips, inexpensively. And something called interactive video. If you want to see it, just touch it. As well, Northern Telecom, the Saskatchewan plant that makes fiber optics. These stories on A Fine Science with Holly Preston.
Image synthesis is a difficult process to describe. It concerns computer graphics whereby pictures are generated and displayed using a computer. There's an additional goal, to make the pictures as realistic as possible. Perhaps the most interesting thing about image synthesis is the fact that pictures are built from description, what you tell the computer. Darwin Peachy of the Department of Computational Science at the University of Saskatchewan in Saskatoon takes us through the process.
Okay, this program allows you to set various levels of the red, green, and blue color primaries and see what the resulting color is. So for example, here we have all of the three at maximum value, and if we paint one of these squares, the resulting color is white. Now if we turn, say, the green down to minimum value and the blue down to minimum value, we'll get pure red. Only the red is on. Okay, so I'll paint this one red.
With the knowledge of combining the primary colors at different values, you can create virtually any other color you wish.
In order to describe the shapes of objects to the computer, we have to have some starting point. And the way we get a start is that there are certain basic shapes that are known to the computer, which we call primitives. In this case, the built-in primitives are certain solids, the cone, the sphere, the cube, the cylinder, and this is a distorted cube, which is really derived from the cube. We can specify the color of each of the primitive shapes that make up whatever we're trying to describe to the computer, and we can combine these primitive shapes in different ways. We can also specify the position of each object, each of the built-in primitives, and also the scaling or stretching, which is how we got the ellipsoid. Starting from the built-in shapes that are known to the computer, we can combine these shapes in various ways to get more complicated shapes. So we start with the red cylinder and the blue block on this side of the picture. And by combining them in different ways, we can get these results. Now, this is a picture of two coffee cups, which is built up from the same set of built-in predefined shapes that we were talking about before. For example, you can clearly see that the top of the coffee cup is made out of cylinders, and we cut out an inner cylinder from this outer cylinder. Similarly, there's a conical shape to the bottom of the cup, and the handle is a section of a cylinder which is cut off here and here, and with the inside cut out of the cylinder. So we can build up fairly interesting looking and complicated things out of those four basic original shapes. Now the planes in this picture are built up in the same way as the coffee cups in the previous picture. You can see some of the basic shapes, cylinders here. In fact, this tail fin, I believe, is a distorted cone. And the other interesting thing is you can easily produce multiple copies of the same shape. As you can see, the three planes are identical, and there's no extra work in putting additional planes in the picture. Once you've defined the shape of the plane, you just request another one at a particular position and with a particular orientation. This is the same picture as the preceding one with the addition of fog. The way you specify fog is to tell the program how much fog it takes to reduce the intensity of light to half of its original value. This is a much more complicated version of the same general technique as was used to describe the airplanes and the coffee cups. Here there are just more things to describe. And another technique has been used to make the picture interesting, and that is a thing called texture mapping, where we take some texture and we put it on the surface of various shapes. For example, if you look at the clouds on this planet that you can see through the window of the space station, the clouds were essentially a picture of clouds that were mapped onto the outside of that planet, wallpapered onto the sphere, if you like. But for the work I'm doing, realism is sort of the test that we usually apply. How closely does this resemble a photograph of the real thing that you're making a picture of? Then, of course, you can extend the same programs to making pictures of things you can't easily take a photograph of. things that might take place on another planet, for example. Special effects work in science fiction films has been one of the places that this has been used quite a bit. This is a picture of ocean waves coming up on a beach. In order to make this picture, I first had to describe the terrain which makes up the beach, all the structure of these hills, and also the underwater slope of the land, because it's the underwater shape of the land that determines how waves behave. The effect that's important is called wave refraction, and what happens is that the length of the wave, the distance between the crests, changes as the water becomes shallower. So that's why waves take on the shape of the beach, and you can see here that the crests of the waves are curved along the lines of the beach. They don't just come in straight lines and strike the beach. Now this is a picture of the sky that we want to combine with the previous picture of the waves. You can see there's some clouds in the sky. The interesting thing about this is that in the case of the waves, I made a real effort to simulate the way waves really behave. In the case of the clouds, this is just a trick based on something that looks like clouds. There's no attempt here to really model the way clouds function, the way the physics of clouds determines their shape. This is the composite of the two previous pictures. And in fact, we've taken the black area from the first picture, which represents a hole, and we've put the first picture in front of the second picture of the sky, and so the sky shows through the hole, which was previously black. So we get a nice effect of the ocean waves in the sky. In this type of work, you find very rapidly that you need the biggest computer you can get your hands on, because it's very expensive to do the computation. But the hard part is definitely in the programs that do the generation of the image, and also what we call modeling, which is describing, I guess, the things that you want to appear in the picture.
It's Dairy Queen, the original you never forget, with a home-style double burger with cheese. 2 thick, juicy home-style patties with melted processed cheddar cheese. It looks, cooks, and tastes like homemade. Or try our tasty chicken fillet sandwich. Each tender breast fillet is cooked and seasoned just right. The choice is yours, only at Dairy Queen, the original you never forget.
We treat you right.
From Pet Food believes you should get more nutritional information and value out of the pet foods you're buying. Compare From to your present brand. No fillers or byproducts, just all natural good nutrition. Buy in the bulk size and save up to 50% on your annual pet food budget. From comes in 7 special mixes. You'll save and your dog will love it. And that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Available at these fine stores. At Bishop's, we're holding a clearance sale while there's lots of selection. Set yourself apart with a luxurious remembrance from our jewelry, china, and gift departments. Select from Waterford crystal, fine bone china, or lustrous pewter. Choose elegant sterling silver plate flatware or a tea set. Surround yourself with all the elegance you deserve. Our brand name gifts in every price range fit every budget during this sale. Hurry, this sale won't last forever. Bishop's Fine Family Jewelers, 328 Main Street North, downtown Moose Jaw.
Hi, AA Cleaners. How much to get a sports jacket cleaned? $24. I'll get back to you on that one, sir. Pockets? Yeah, there's 3. 2 on the inside. So pockets are $1.50 extra each. So that'll make it, what, $31.50. $3 for the collar, but the sleeves are free? Oh, this week only. Okay.
When quality and service matter, try us, Queen City Cleaners, with 5 Regina locations.
DEL CompuCable Systems Incorporated in Saskatoon has some unique ideas about video display information. The company wants to make its systems available to hotels, stores, cable companies, anyone with a commercial message at an affordable price.
What we've done is we have taken small home computers and modified them, developed software for it, and turned them into these information display systems. We felt, why should we reinvent the wheel? Why should we do everything over again that was done to create the computers? So instead we use these computers, use their capabilities, and turn them into a character generator. We design the programs, develop them, We take the software, put it onto a EEPROM, what's called an EEPROM. It's just a chip, and these chips are put inside a cartridge, much like you'd see in a game cartridge for a home computer. And this is all assembled and then sold as the character generator. We're also working on a new system we're going to call the STAR. It's a character generator that will superimpose. We'll take its video source and put it over the top of another video source. For example, when you see a weather warning come across the bottom of a screen, that's one video source superimposed on top of another. The new product, the STAR, will be able to do that type of thing in many colors and different types of effects, things like that. Here's some examples of the graphics capabilities. It is a medium resolution system, but for the price between $700 and $2,700, these types of capabilities have really not been seen in this range of product at this time. All the graphics done here are done on the graphics pad. They're saved onto the floppy disk, and then they can be recalled at any time and displayed between any of the messages. So you can actually set them up almost any way you want. It's a very, very flexible system with lots of colors and different capabilities. You can do hotel logos, as well as scenic views. Things like this are very easy to create with circles and lines, automatic functions. This is our second product, the SpectraView 2. It's similar to the SpectraView 1, except that it does have a few different capabilities, a little less expensive. You can see the larger characters, as well as not quite as many colors. It also has the smaller size of characters we'll see later. Here, we see an example here of it being used in possibly an application of advertising for on a cable TV. For example, Holiday Inn may do an advertisement where it might be put on the cable TV, or possibly just even within an apartment building. Here we see an example of the animation with the plane going across the screen. Here's another example of the large and small text. A lot of features, a lot of capabilities in the products so that people can set up the graphics any way they want. This picture of a car was used through a digitizer. What we did is took a camera, took a picture of the car through the computer, and then colored it in later. Here's an example of an ad that could be used for Petro-Canada or filling stations. So they lend themselves towards use in advertising or information display systems. This is an example of how you use the graphics capabilities on the graphics pad. It comes up with a main menu. On the main menu, you see in this upper area here the different types of automatic selections you can make. In the middle here, the different types of pens and pen widths that you can use, and on the bottom, the different types of colors. And these are also changeable as well. To get to the actual drawing screen, you push the button, and it gives you a blank screen that you can draw on. You place your cursor wherever you want to go, push the button and hold it down, and as you draw or move it across the surface, it will automatically draw. You can go back to the main menu, change it to, let's say, a line function, and you place the cursor anywhere you want to start the line and find out where you want to stop it, push the button, and it draws the line automatically. As well, you can go in and do, let's say, boxes to a green, and there again you set one end of the box and the other end, and it fills it in. And you can do, let's say, discs in blue, and there we'll do a couple little discs. As well, it has a magnify feature. You see this little circle right here, blue circle. Let's put a face in it using the magnify feature. We better do it in black and draw. So in the magnify feature here, you see that circle in a very large magnification mode. And we'll just put some eyes in here, and a little nose, and a mouth. And when we take the magnify off, there's our face. So there's lots of features, capabilities for you to automatically create the graphics and store them then onto the floppy disk. Everyone's always developing new equipment, and a company's always got to keep moving to stay ahead, either if it's in product development or marketing. If you stand still for too long or any time at all, everyone else catches up or passes you. So you've got to keep moving, you've got to keep your product development going, and that certainly will help in being successful.
That's Entertainment has put the spotlight on Panasonic TVs featuring state-of-the-art Quintrix 2 CompuFocus Picture Tube, the ultimate in viewing pleasure. Panasonic at special low prices from That's Entertainment in the Northgate Mall.
Which night is your favorite at Granny's? Monday, pizza. Tuesday, chicken and ribs. Wednesday, steak and shrimp. Thursday, barbecue chicken. Friday, from the sea. Saturday, New York steak. Sunday, veal cordon bleu. Which night is my favorite at Granny's? All of them.
Attention please for a special announcement. If you're prepared to order now, you can receive 150 all-time favorite songs by Max Bygraves on these 4 stereo LPs or 3 long-play cassette tapes for a very special price. But remember, this is a very special offer by a very special entertainer for a very limited time.
Do you recall these? Dance in the old-fashioned way. Won't you stay in my arms? The bells are ringing for me and my gal. I'd like some red roses for a blue lady. If you were the only girl in the world.
Now, you'll receive all 4 stereo LPs or 3 long-play cassettes for only $19.95. 150 of the most popular songs by Max Bygraves.
Cheerio, and God bless.
Visa, MasterCard, COD charges. Call 569-1321 or save COD charges by sending $19.95 for 4 LPs or 3 long-play cassettes plus $2 postage and handling to Max Bygraves. P.O. Box 124, Regina, Saskatchewan. Call now. Operators are standing by. Remember, this offer could end without notice, so call 569-1321 now. Please specify records or cassettes.
CTI Communications is another company in Saskatoon with a unique video display product. It specializes in a field called interactive video. The technology involves mixing video and computer information into a single source. The big difference from other systems is that the user participates and even controls the system. It's also simple to use. The key component is the laser disc.
With the ability to store, as I say, 54,000 images, we can take a video disc and have all our information on one side. That information is stored here permanently. It's a very, very strong medium. Each little line we see on here, which is almost be impossible with the lighting here, but each little line is one video frame. There are 54,000 lines here. Right? The analogy would be if I had a room full of 54,000 slides and I wanted a picture of Aunt Martha on the couch in December 1978. I know how long it's going to take me to go into that room and find that one slide. With our systems, it should not take you longer than 3 seconds. We feel that there are 2 major areas of application. One is in information transfers, where governments and organizations want to give people as much information as possible. The other area, of course, is training, where these systems allow for remote delivery of training. They have high retention on the part of the student. They're easy to operate, and in the long run, much less expensive than perhaps bringing students from all over the place into a central training location.
Interactive video was evident at Expo 86 in Vancouver. For the user, it's simple. Just touch the screen.
This particular system works off a directory. There are up to 100 companies on this. I'll choose 1, 3, 6. And we'll get the 30-second spot that the company has on the laser disc. Each company is carrying a 30-second spot. As we'll see if we allow this to move along by itself, if the system is not touched, it will billboard the companies in a random fashion.
AgDevCo, an integrated trading house, sourcing and trading agricultural commodities, goods, and services. Rockomatic Industries.
At any time, if I wanted to see a particular company, I could touch the screen
Rockomatic Industries
and get their 30-second spot.
Rockomatic manufactures an extensive line of rock pickers, diggers, and windrowers. Rockomatic has a full line of rock windrowers from 2.4 to 8.5 meters, each with a floating drum design and double rotating. When changing locations, the windrower moves easily into transport position. Rockomatic Industries of Vonda, Saskatchewan.
If I want my instructions,
for information on any of the organizations, look at...
if I wish to repeat the instructions,
and enter your selection. For information on any of the...
or if I want to go back to the keypad.
The directory...
I can make another selection at this point.
SaskTel's innovative applications of fiber optics technology have established it as an acknowledged industry leader.
SaskTel is a leader in the use of fiber optics, as the message says. We'll look at how that fiber is manufactured, coming up in our next story on A Fine Science. Fiber optics have amazing capabilities. For example, one small glass fiber can carry 8,000 telephone signals at the same time, and there are many fibers in each cable that telephone companies are now using. Northern Telecom in Saskatoon is a leader in manufacturing this light fantastic product. The first step in the making of fiber starts here in the chemical vapor deposition, or CVD room. Chemicals mixed with gases flow through hollow tubes of pure quartz silica. Layers of glass are formed that have unique abilities with light. An oxyhydrogen flame travels the length of the quartz tube, causing the gaseous chemicals to react. The chemicals are deposited on the inner walls of the tube. When the right number of layers are deposited, the tube is collapsed into a solid rod. This is called a preform. The next step takes place in the tower room. The 1-meter glass rod, or preform, will be pulled or drawn into an 8,000-meter length of fiber. It's inserted into a controlled furnace, and the end heated to just below the melting point. It then drops down, starting a long, thin strand. At this stage, the fiber strand is coated with a protective plastic. The fiber is now only 0.125 millimeters, or 125 microns in diameter. That's the size of a human hair. The optical core, or the center of the fiber that actually carries the messages, is a minute 8.5 microns. The fiber is then wound onto spools or drums. At various times, checks are made on the fiber to ensure it is being manufactured to exact specifications. The fiber then has to be rewound onto reels of manageable size. These reels will be stored until they're needed. Further checking takes place in the fiber test room. Geometrical measurements make certain that the outer diameter of the fiber is correct and that the core is centered and circular. Many types of finished cables are manufactured. In this case, selected lengths of fiber and wire are woven together into a special slotted protection core. The center core has a steel-reinforced center for strength. Anywhere from 6 to 96 optical fibers are added. They're dyed different colors for easy identification. A gel fill and mylar threading are added. Then a series of protective jackets is applied. It includes a protectant coating to discourage rodents, particularly gophers, from chewing the cable. The final protectant is a polyethylene jacket which is applied hot, then cooled by water. Finished cable is wound on drums and stored. It's interesting to remember that less than 100 years ago, there wasn't one telephone in the province, and no one had even dreamed of television. Today, they're both delivered to our homes at the speed of light on a tiny strand of glass. All major centers in Saskatchewan are now connected by fiber optics. The system is over 3,300 kilometers long. Capacity to carry information is growing all the time, keeping the province in the forefront of the fiber revolution. And that's our program. We hope you've enjoyed our glimpse at the video revolution. I'm Holly Preston for A Fine Science.
This is CBC Television.